to open up with you guys today and talk about my journey and my battle with an eating disorder. I don't want to make it super sad, I still want to be nice and positive, but what I do want to say is if you are suffering or feel like you need to talk to someone, please speak to a medical professional. I am not a doctor, and this is my own journey, my experience. I'm always happy to answer questions. If you know someone suffering and maybe want some advice on how to go about talking to them, or if you yourself are suffering and want to know how I seek help, I'm so happy to talk about that. But yeah, if you need help, go speak to a doctor or someone who is qualified, because I'm not. My battle with an eating disorder kind of started when I was about 17, 18 years old. I kind of started becoming more conscious of what I was eating. I was reading numbers on packets, I was restricting here or there, nothing too major, and it was the summer right before I was about to move to Barcelona. When I was 18 years old, I was heading off to dance university over there, and I really kind of thought, okay, I'm going to be a dancer, like this is it, Jade, like, you're going to be a dancer, so you need to get a bit skinnier. And so I just started to restrict. And I had no idea about nutrition, like literally no clue. But I just started to restrict, and I got over to Barcelona and I weighed myself and I was 50 kg. I was like, wow, I've never been 50 kg before for as long as I can remember. I was like, okay, so I'm going to buy weighing scales and I'm going to get below 50 kg. And I did. So I'm barely eating, I'm dancing all day, and I'm living alone for the first time, so like I don't really notice that I'm sick. I wasn't in a bad place when I started doing that. I was in a really positive place, I was in this amazing city, I was losing weight, fantastic. And then it got to the point where I was restricting so much that I needed to binge, like I was having these urges. And this is where I became ill. And this is like something that then took over my whole life. It took over my, like every thought of every day. I was thinking about food, what I was eating, when I was eating, why I was eating, how can I get rid of it, and how can I eat and not gain weight. I felt like I had no control anymore. And so I would restrict all day, and then I would get home and I would binge. And then I would have to purge because I didn't want to gain the weight. And eventually this was happening day in, day out, multiple times a day. Then to go into a dance class and stand in front of a mirror in a leotard and be critiqued when you just made yourself as ill as you did, it was draining. It was absolutely horrible. And so it got to the point then where I knew I was really sick, and I knew I needed help. I didn't know what to do, so I went to the doctors, and I was in Spain. No help whatsoever. Fast forward a year or so later, I'm living in London by myself again, and I'm opened up to this whole new world, this health scene that I knew nothing about. I didn't know like these crazy juice bars existed and this raw vegan this, that and the other. I was so fixated on being healthy and eating clean, and I was restricting and then still purging if I wasn't eating the way I was supposed to, that my body, I just felt like it gave up on me. And so this is when I finally went and sought professional help at a GP. And I remember going to the GP and I felt like she wasn't listening to me. I felt like she wasn't taking me seriously, but I knew that I needed help. So I went to a different GP, and along the way I was seeking help from a nutritionist called Nutrition. She is amazing, Rhiannon, and she was really trying to help me with my diet and getting it back on point so that I wouldn't have these urges to restrict and binge. So I went to another GP, and then they referred me to the eating disorder clinic, one of them here in London. And then after months of waiting, I then went and had treatment. I went to the bulimia centre. So then fast forward halfway through my treatment, and I am probably at the worst place I've ever been at. I was heavier than I'd ever been. I was 56 kg. I was depressed. I was miserable, and And let me tell you, this was only 6 months ago. Yeah. So I was unhappy, to say the least. I was unhappy on the inside, I was unhappy on the outside, and I completely lost any spark that I had. And I remember looking at the nurse dead in the eye, and I was like, I will never get better. This is who I am. This is the way I'm going to be forever. Like, I can't stop. And she looked at me and she was like, you can get better, you will get better. And I was like, this is me. And I genuinely thought that this would be me forever. Like, I didn't think that Jade could exist without an eating disorder. I wake up, think about food, like think about my weight. Like, it was just this constant battle with my own mind. I'm too fat, so I shouldn't eat, but then I would binge, which would make me gain weight, which I then need to restrict, and it was this vicious cycle. I thought every week I would get better. But it's not that simple. They can teach you everything in the world and you still might not get better for some time, but you will. And so I finished up my treatment and I was the same Jade. Still had the eating disorder, still hated myself, and I didn't know what to do, what was next. Like, what can you do next after you've gone to the hospital, you've done the treatment? It's not as simple as when you're sick and you take some medicine and then you get better. And I wish it was. How have I got from that Jade just a couple of months ago to where I'm at now? It's something that you have to wake up every single day and you make a choice. I make a choice every hour not to binge. I make the choice every day to eat the food I'm meant to eat because it's good for me, because it fuels me to then go to the gym so I can feel good. It gives me the energy I need to go and meet my friends, to go to work and to have a life. You make that choice every single day, every minute of the day. If you are someone who have suffered with bulimia, it's not just something that you think about every so often. It's like they're constantly talking to you, telling you like an itch, like you just have to do it, and until you do it, it doesn't go away. But it gets easier and the itch goes away. It does, I promise you. And I thought it would be with me forever, and it's not. I'm so much happier now than I have ever been. And you know what, sometimes if I want a piece of cake, I'm gonna have it, but I don't have that guilty feeling afterwards. And it's not even the guilt, it's I don't have the urge to go and purge. And that is the most amazing feeling in the world, trust me. And I feel like I've got my fire back. I put a quote on my Instagram and it says, if you've ever fallen down and lost your spark, get back up, it's the hold on fire. This is something that I live by. I felt like I was nothing, and now I'm more of myself than I've ever been. And I'm no longer Jade who has an eating disorder. I'm Jade, and I have experienced an eating disorder. Yeah, that's my story. And I have never really spoken about it on social media at all. Occasionally here or there, like I said, I have suffered, but I've never explained my story. Obviously I've only touched into it and highlighted kind of the milestones in it, like how it started, when I got help, how it ended, and it's because I don't want my social media to be about me recovering from an eating disorder, because my social media is about me, and that isn't me. It's just something that I experienced. But I also want to share my life with you and be authentic with you and keep it real. And to do that, I want you to know me and know what I've been through. And so that's my story. And I hope that you've watched this, maybe learned a bit about me, and maybe just if you know someone who's suffering, know that just by reaching out to them, you can help them so much. And even when they don't want the help, still help. Still try, because it's my friends who helped me so much, and people around me who just showed me love, showed me that I was more than that, and it made such a positive impact on me and my recovery. And also, if you are someone who is suffering yourself and you don't know how to seek help, please write to me. I can help you, or speak to someone and they will help you too. If there is a way, there's always a way. Like I say, if I can do it, anybody can. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. It was a little bit different. Just me, my chair, and I. So yeah, if you don't subscribe to my channel, I would love if you did. And also you can follow my journey on all my other social medias. It's Jade Jasmine. Thank you for watching today, guys, and be positive, be happy, be you.